that apparently there was some sort of issue with streaming on YouTube. So I don't know if that might have had some impact still. And yeah, we're back. Technical difficulties. Yeah. Which feels almost par for the course with this game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
If everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Oh boy.
Yep. Oh wow. Oh, science happened. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the PSN store.
What are you looking at on the PSN store?
Anime.
Oh, of course.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Checks out. And speaking of the total opposite of anime, let's go back to the tactical nature of old Rainbow Six Siege, and because I don't know, like if there's really anything else to touch on this game specifically. Trying to think.
If we said it before, we'd just be repeat. Oh. Sorry. I'm sure we've said plenty before.
Yeah, I feel like we've been complaining about this game for like 3 years now.
Yeah. Ooh, I did remember now what one point I was gonna say when last run when, or well, actually Dexter's still playing as Ayana. So, oh.
Is it?
Is it what I think it is?
Oh, well, no, there's Capcan, but no one's fused, right? Okay.
Nope. We got a bunch of recruits. I like seeing Dexter playing Ayana reminded me like that the season they added Ayana and Oryx.
I think that was
that was
the season.
that was kind of the not the point of no return, but that was definitely when
what? Where did my frag grenades go? Did they remove frag grenades off of Maverick?
Maybe.
Because I used to have frags and I no longer have frags.
Oh no!
Got
I just got another trophy.
Noise.
Oh.
Because I tossed in a flashbang instead of a boom boom nade, so I'm gonna have to check that. If they honestly remove frag grenades from
Let me check.
from Maverick.
You know that
Stun grenade, claymore. They did!
Yeah.
It's flashbangs and claymores now, what the heck?
Does Buck have them then? No, he doesn't.
Did they what does anyone have frags anymore?
That did remind me that there's
Dude, like, okay, Iana?
Someone posted a picture on Reddit and were like, man, they really are removing nades from everyone because there's only like 3 ops or something that have nades.
Yes.
And that makes me go,
everyone has impacts.
Like, did I miss something with the meta? Like, or like what is going on?
I think it's just. I don't think this is a censorship thing. That's the removing of bodies.
And skulls.
And skulls, thank you. Yeah, I don't... actually, go to recruit. I don't know why I didn't think of it now.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
Looks like we got a bunch of FNGs.
Fantastic Newt Gingriches.
Yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but guess it worked out.
Found him.
Oh, it was already destroyed.
Scanning for electronic devices.
Bobby
Wait,
looks
I
clear.
don't need to worry
There's
about
someone over by the
gadgets.
the window to the back spawn. Just be careful. He's dead.
Here, you take away my frag grenades, I still know how to play.
The whole idea behind Maverick was that his torch and his grenades worked super well with each other.
Yeah, let's see if that does anything. There's a fly buzzing around my TV now.
He must love bad games.
Got one.
Oh, I destroyed the C4 as he threw it!
Ooh!
Nice. Also extremely lucky.
Does Buck want to get in there and plant the diffuser, maybe?
Where is he?
I have no idea.
On the floor
It's like
above.
on the second floor.
Ah!
I don't think he knows he even has it.
Probably not.
Yeah, he's just playing it safe. Dude, you got 40 seconds. Get down there.
Op 4 last stop standing.
Well, the shield is recharged.
Lobby.
Oh.
Nice!
Oh, the Claymore, yes! The Claymore!
It worked!
Yes! Yes! Buck shot at him right as that happened. I thought Buck got him, but yes! Like I said, I still know how to utilize that properly. Oh. Honestly, that may actually work better than the frags, because that you can kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that tactic was not possible before. So I'm not even gonna say credit where credit's due since they still removed the
Mozzie.
nade, but Claymore? Not a bad pick
No. Nope.
for Mav.
I mean, yeah, if they totally removed explosives from him completely, then different issue. But
Yeah.
It's still an issue that they removed the grenades in the first place. They should have
Yeah.
removed the flash.
Bomb locations are secure.
So I got 3 of these.
I'm half expecting a recruit rush.
Op 4
It is.
Yep. Yep, can confirm. I have visuals. Or visual. I'm down. I'm dead.
Got a
Where are they
plan?
coming from?
A.
Man,
The tunnel?
I
Yeah.
guess we managed to match up against recruit mains.
bomb diffuser in place.
What? Man, they're going all
I can't
in.
see. I can't see.
Op 4, last operator standing.
He's got more bullets than I do. Got him.
You got him.
Oh, nice.
Defuse is yours.
Actually, hang on.
Why are you doing that for?
No! We don't have time to defuse it now, I don't think.
Oh, it's gonna be really close.
Okay.
I knew we had time.
Jerk.
Thank you.
That's my one death. That was my one death. Otherwise, I would have had a perfect KD, but you had to pop me in the head in that very last moment.
Oh, gee.
Video games are about doing illegal things you can't do in real life.
And then remembering that you still can't do them in real life. A la that one kid that hacked Rockstar.
Oh yeah, how have we
Oof.
not talked about that?
Well, it happened like 3 days ago, so it's been less than a week since it happened.
It has.
Yeah,
Yep.
it happened like Monday or Tuesday.
I thought it happened like last week or something. It's been a couple of minutes.
Hostage! Oh dear.
There we go.
Where are you?
Well, I'm sure this is
Okay,
gonna go
it's-
well.
So Fuse now has smokes.
It'd be really funny if they actually changed this cluster charge to be smoke grenades instead of explosive grenades.
That's what Candela is for.
Don't give
That's
them
what games
ideas.
for. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it's like, but that. It seems totally on brand for them to do that.
And that's also a new operator.
Although, as a what? What? What?
Is it the same? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow! Hey, look at that! All right, well,
Well, that's that's
I'm
interesting.
so happy right now.
It's the night of the recruits, everyone.
10 seconds to insertion.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
5 seconds to insertion.
Evening of the
Located operational
afternoon of the recruits, then.
The morning of the 31st. Coming this summer.
Bum ba ba bum ba ba bum 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 ba ba bum ba ba bum bum.
Ah, I can't see.
Initiate extraction.
Wait, what is this?
4 last stop standing.
were you actually rescuing the hostage? I can't see.
Ah, me
Dang
neither.
it, Ying!
Kill him.
What is this?
You Fuse rescued the hostage. Man, you know this game is in a sorry state when Fuse actually rescues the hostage.
All right, we gotta give it back to him. least recruit still has his frags.
Need to recover the hostage.
They're not in the same place.
Yeah, no.
They're on the first floor,
Oh, that's not a recruit.
though. Uh-oh.
They're adapting.
I don't like that. There was at least one, though.
I wonder if they figured out. Oh shoot! It's those
Doc's running upstairs.
same three guys that beat us last game.
2 recruits.
5 seconds.
Oh,
I
Darn
would
you,
have
Castle.
done the this is getting out of hand. There are 2 of them. If it weren't for the fact that, you know, it's kind of a downgrade.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Motion sensor.
Ow, I'm hurt.
Sorry, Doc.
No! He killed me! I thought you had him!
I thought so too.
So, yeah. He's being chased by a man with a very bright shield, and he takes the time to shoot me.
Yeah, that's a odd
Going
prioritization.
in. It's clear, it's clear.
Alright. No!
He's still
They
in
killed
there.
me.
Shot the hostage.
It was Valk above. They made a hole in the roof.
Oh, sounds like she's coming down.
Op 4 eliminated.
Force her to play on your terms. That worked.
Yep.
Yeah, good play.
She had to go rescue the hostage. What if we had executed the hostage and then blamed it on them?
Unfortunately, this is a video game, and that's not how this works. Otherwise,
What if we threatened to kill? Tachenka has the bearing 9.
Oh yeah! He has
that's
that now.
odd.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, so I'm gonna use it.
You need to protect the hostage.
Right.
Secure the room.
If
Oh,
they get
perfect.
close, gas them. Kill them.
Does anyone have any other deployable shields?
No.
I do. But I don't know
Put
why
one-
we protect him. Also, I may have accidentally said something super Homelander-ish with the whole kill the hostage and blame it on the bad guys thing. Am I a bad guy?
Are we the baddies?
10 seconds to insertion.
So it's a little funny you say that because I've mentioned before going on there like, oh, I should get the Siege Tales Prime skin because I ended up getting Prime completely random because there was a book that came out, and by an author that I guess is too niche, so his books aren't released in Sweden, so I go for the Amazon ebook option. But since Amazon has launched in Sweden, I'm gonna order the ebook, and then I went, hang on a second, they're here now. I wonder, out of curiosity, do they actually have that book like in store? And I look it up and I'm like, oh yeah, they do. You know, it would be fun to have one physical copy for this particular book. And as I was ordering it, there was an offer, like final chance to
come
get
on.
one month of Prime for free. So I went, you know, I'll take it.
On the stairwell.
Oh, that was a friendly. That was Oryx.
So one of them's wearing a skin for a character I don't recognize.
Visual on the hostage.
So I don't. Oh, there's Sledge. Okay, I got a kill assist on him at least.
That's Amaru down.
So yeah, it's whoever the last person is. That's
They're upstairs.
he should be weak. Hopefully. Okay, there we go.
Mission successful.
Oh no, that's no. Okay, so then, this is rude. That was rude.
Man, being straight
Okay,
up bullied.
So then, who is the? There was someone with a skin on I did not recognize at all. I have no idea who that. And I know it's for an operator that exists in the game prior to when I stopped playing, but I don't know who that operator is.
What gun?
I don't know. I think it was a shotgun. But that doesn't narrow it down, so.
Warden.
But we were
I don't-
defenders.
I don't.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
we were
right.
defenders, so it wasn't Warden.
I gotta go open up this alpha pack.
So the reason I brought up Amazon was partly because I've been watching the boys
Boys.
since you brought up Homelander. Very gory, very explicit, but I'm enjoying it.
It's
But-
pretty subtle.
Yeah.
Did it
but
take a few seconds for you to comprehend that, or were you just... Okay, good, it's a different team.
wait, comprehend what?
Anything, honestly. It's... Yeah.
But that wasn't the only thing I watched since I've
Oh no, I think I know what you're about to say.
since I also since I had Prime now, I finally got around to and since we're playing the Tom Clancy game, I suppose it makes sense to talk about the Tom Clancy movie from last year, Without Remorse. And
I've been waiting for this moment.
yeah, I may or may not have forgot to text you back about what I thought.
That's fine. That's fine.
Probably well, actually no, it wasn't that I forgot. It was just okay. I think I'm gonna bring this up the next time we play together, and then that's what I forgot to do. and I don't really know where to start on that one, if I'm being honest. Okay,
tip top floor.
as a movie on its own, I thought it was pretty good actually. It had some neat and tense actions. It, had. I think it laid out the character motivation pretty fine, and also made that
Oh, basement.
making things fairly heart-wrenching, and it was and it was sort of kind of funny since I was watching it with my parents, and as they were showing. Okay, I thought she was gonna kill us, but no, Ash just wanted us to to move. Oh yeah, I like as they were leading up to the moment where okay they're gonna kill off his wife that with the unborn baby. My mom was going like, oh man, I really hope they're not gonna kill her, and I just kind of like looked at her and went, well, I've got bad news for you. Like, oh, they're gonna kill her, aren't they? Yep, that's the entire catalyst for this story. And
Sort of.
yeah.
This version of it, yes.
Yeah. And I like I know at some point we've talked about although I can't remember in what context, but music in movies as such, for whatever reason.
Oh, it's just three of us.
Oh.
Oh, now we got two randoms. Never mind.
Yeah. We got reinforcements. For whatever reason, I struggle to really, like I watch a movie and the music just does its job, as in, it intensifies or adds more emotion to the scene, but I don't notice it or whatever on the first go. It's usually when I've watched the movie once, then listen to the soundtrack, and then rewatching the movie where I start to pick up on like, oh, this music is really good. For instance, that scene in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom that I remember we were talking about with the Indoraptor climbing up, and like, oh, I don't I don't remember that music hearing when I was watching it in the theater, and then when I rewatched it, I made sure to perch up my ears and say like, oh yeah, I'm hearing that now. This was one of the few examples where I actually picked up on the music at times and was actually sort of surprised at how, like, the emotional angle, because now this could also be a case of me not really the music, but I don't remember any action music. I really only remember the emotional bits that plays like when his wife is getting killed, and then at the scene like towards the climax of the story when he
what are they doing? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
I have no clue. This is Rainbow Six Siege. This is casual. Nothing makes sense.
I mean, I know you're having a serious discussion about a movie and critiquing the soundtrack, but like, I'm like,
no,
I'm perplexed.
I am completely with you. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like there was that scene when when John Kelly, I was trying to remember. Wait, what was his
Idris
original
Elba?
surname before Clark?
Kelly.
Like when he's kind of taking a last stand to make sure that that the rest of his team will make it off, and is playing that kind of emotional cue, and like that genuinely surprised me how the music was so low key and not really action focused, and that was something that I was genuinely surprised and also really liked. That it wasn't just, you know, here's action revenge movie, so we're gonna play it completely straight with the music. No, it actually tried for something a little bit different, and as I said, as a movie, pretty good. It had a lot of good tense and action and everything, which I've said. And then there's there's the movie
based on something.
Then there's the movie as an adaptation, and I knew from the start that it was essentially nothing like the original novel. And that's
Partially thanks to me, because when I told you, I watched it in this scene, and this scene, and this scene,
Yeah,
and you
but-
had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, but while I didn't know the specifics, I could tell even from the first teaser trailer they showed that, this is not gonna be Without Remorse, the book as a movie. It's something completely different. And even then, I was shocked by how different it was from the source material, because I did assume that, while it, it's going after Russians and it's, a lot different, but I still thought it was gonna be this angle of him going full one-man army on them, and then, now he has a Black Ops team. Like, what? And they're doing, like, they're getting into Russia, and their plane is getting shot down, and like, and I was just, what is going on? Like, this is like, even knowing it was nothing like the book, and the
She's down the
fact
stairs.
and the fact I was
She's
still
going around.
surprised by how far removed it was from the book. Like,
She's on the stairwell.
that's
Nice.
saying something. And I don't know, like, it just makes me wonder, what was the point of calling this Without Remorse if you weren't gonna tell that story to begin with?
I mean, I feel like the basic premise is there, which allows it to tie in, and the fact that it sort of kind of ends the same, and that he's got this new identity, and that's going to spring us off to Rainbow Six eventually. However, basically everything else was totally different, and I feel like maybe they're doing it that way because they're going to try to tie it in to the Jack Ryan series, maybe. But
that's what I'm assuming, but it still makes me wonder, like, okay, they did this whole new rebooted story for Jack Ryan, why not do the same for John Clark if you weren't gonna tell this specific story? And as you said, like, the very, very basic things are there, but, and like, I'm also, and this is gonna be one of those, I don't think any of you really has seen it, but it was the thing that I thought I was gonna make comparisons to, as terms of book being adapted and being very different, and even then, it's like, even like the other movie I'm thinking about, The Meg, is like that's also one of those where the movie differs a lot from the source material, but
Ash is in.
Oh yeah, she got me. I learned that the hard way. But that one has kind of similar to Without Remorse, the very, very basic gist of it in that, oh, there's a science expedition. They discover that there is like this sort of layer at what we think is the bottom of the ocean. In the movie, the South China Sea, but in the original novel, it was the Mariana Trench, which made a lot more sense.
Which makes more sense.
Yeah, and part of that was probably, I think a lot of those changes were simultaneously understandable and regrettably, because there was like that movie was this big
Chinese co-production.
Yeah, like exactly, the joint production. So okay, that is regrettable in some ways, but
I just love regrettable in some ways. Slow zoom in on the giant furry. The furry smonk.
I knew that is exactly what you were referring to whenever you said disappointment. Or whatever you just said. Negative word.
It actually was. But it was just perfectly timed with what I was going for. But like that was one of those, okay, it's a it makes it like it sucks that the story makes a little bit less sense. I mean, not claiming that there's tons of sense in the Meg, but you know what I mean.
It's a book about a giant shark. You kind of have to go with it.
Yeah.
I thought that was Moby Dick.
That was a whale.
Yeah. But
Jonah?
yes. But they do that expedition. They discover that, oh, there is that whole thermal thingy barrier. I forget what they're calling it. They go through it and be like, oh, there's like a whole new world down here. Oh shoot, there's giant prehistoric sharks, and oh no, we accidentally let one loose. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have to hunt it down and try to either kill or capture it, and things ensue, and yeah, like that's the very basic gist of it. And while there is a lot of differences between the novel and the movie, like I do feel that they have enough of those basics to where I'm not too flabbergasted by all those changes, because okay, the overall story is about the same.
They get to
it-
the core of what the story is about, and they stick to that
Yeah.
even with the changes they make.
Yeah, like even the major changes like aren't like they don't necessarily take away from that. Okay, yeah, it happens a lot of it happens very differently, and honestly, the only great surprise I have is that they cut out the extremely obvious sequel bait that the novel had, which in the age of Hollywood.
Surprising.
Yeah, that's so odd. Like they had that extremely obvious thing in the book, and they decided to cut that out. So now, and to be fair, that is making me wonder. Okay, how is the sequel gonna work then? Because
so
they don't
there are
have the
now a
sequel
bunch of
bait.
sharks in the. There are now
So-
a bunch of sharks in the ocean. Why was that thing shot at by that guy?
I mean, the sequel bait in the novel, and it's not just a sequel bait, it's also adding more pressure to them having to find and kill the giant shark, in that, oh, it's a pregnant female. We can't let that give birth two little monster sharks in our sea, and it does, but two of them ends up being killed because nature is nature, and then the third ends up being captured, and then that in the sequel that one ends up growing up, and that in this essentially big aquarium, and then escaping, of course, because otherwise it wouldn't be much of a sequel. And them kind of...
Did they go into space?
No. They don't
What's
do that.
Then?
Because
why would I even watch it then if they're not in space? Their natural habitat.
But yeah, like my entire whole point is that even with all the varying degrees of changes, like the core of the story is mostly the same, whereas and that was what I was expecting with Without Remorse too. But then like
Nope.
even then the changes are so dramatic that it's not really the same story, because you have the novel, which is about John Kelly loses his girlfriend, so he goes on a one-man army spree through
The original John Wick.
yeah. That's a great way of putting it. He goes John Wick before John Wick on these criminals, whereas the novel, okay, yeah, it's Russians, but it is kind of setting up as being, he's gonna go, just go berserk on them, and then it ends up being, no, it's a CIA Black Ops story, which is not really what I was
Which CIA
expecting.
Black Ops was sort of also kind of part of the original novel as well, but they weren't the bad guys. It was this other side plot that ended up impacting the main story.
With him going to Vietnam, which of course they couldn't do in the movie because set in modern times. But like,
Could have made it Afghanistan, or I mean,
Yeah.
it opens in Syria for Pete's sake.
yeah, I'm honestly like I honestly would have thought a decent angle to kind of go through this, if you're going through. If you're making this a modern adaptation, but if you still want to stay somewhat true, why not have him serve during the Gulf War? Because then it would have been more closer in time, but he would still have been like having more age and experience whenever
that makes sense.
inevitably teams up with Jack Ryan, which is probably what they're gonna end up doing, and that's probably I don't know if it's really the entire point of the movie, if it was the original intent, but that seems to be okay. They're definitely gonna do some. I mean, obviously they're gonna do some sort of tie-in, since Amazon has them both.
Is
Are we all down?
latency really bad for you too? No, there's one not one rando, one Prentice up. The latency's super bad. Which is weird.
Man, if only I could withstand.
Did the esports players take that away from you as well?
I'm too chunky to fit in there.
Help. Help me. Jack Ryan, please.
No.
That works.
No! Warden! The most useless person became useful at the last second.
Useless Warden coming clutch. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't. I mean, it was so interesting. My experience without remorse.
Oh, yeah.
because we watched it, and I honestly really liked the movie. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It sort of kind of doesn't have a middle. I feel like because it kind of goes from beginning with all the setup and stuff, and then it very quickly moves into no. Sorry, it had a middle. It didn't have an ending. Is what it didn't have an ending.
Yeah.
It ends very quickly. The moment where you think you're going to start the third act, it just kind of ends there.
I was teabagging with you!
You're not a recruit.
But that was teabagging, I thought that would... Oh, watch out, Prentice. They're coming for you.
Nope. I can see him getting bullied.
10 seconds remaining.
Hey, I'll bully you right back.
5 seconds and counting. Bomb located by Op 4.
Quick run.
Oh, he's still behind you.
Yeah, but I gotta get away from him. Yeah, I'll just use him as bait.
We do not use people as bait.
Oh, there's just two of them.
What? Stop doing this!
Oh, I'm getting footage from the cameras, and it's amazing.
I bet it is. Zero's probably thinking to himself, what the heck is even going on here?
The lag. It's so bad.
Why? Oh my gosh.
Operator remaining.
That was something.
Got him.
Wow, okay.
The lag is awful right now.
I am experiencing no lag whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
Why am I getting
I
it then?
did see that you were lagging a bit. Oh.
Anyway, like I was saying, so I watched the movie and I thought it was fine. I mean, like I said, it didn't really have much of an ending. It just kind of ends. And then, but the action was actually really well done, especially like Loka was talking about the close to the end there where he's doing the last stand against the Russians. I don't think it's one take or one shot, but I mean there's lots of long takes in there. That's pretty impressively done, and a lot of cool stuff thrown in there.
Yeah, I might need to go after this game. This lag is getting out of hand. I don't know what is happening.
So that stuff was all cool and everything. So then and then like shortly after that, I watched. Okay, these guys are still cyberbullying me.
Oh.
I feel like they're gonna let me set my EDDs. No, they just destroyed my EDDs.
I think they might have destroyed my one of my mute jammers as well because it's gone.
Ah.
I don't know why they're not bullying me. It might be my amazing internet connection.
Well, anyway, so then I watched the Jack Ryan show, and then I'm like, oh, we'll wonder what some of these original books are going. So I got Without Remorse and Rainbow Six, and I read Without Remorse. I'm like, wow, that was amazing, and now I don't really like that movie very much. I mean, the action was still good, but it's like, wow, that was nothing like the book. And it's like, and the things they changed didn't even really make that much sense for the story they were trying to tell compared to the book. Because like I said, it has the basic premise of what the book is about. But it's like, that was okay. This Cav, but then like the whole, I don't know, because Without Remorse was a very, very personal story.
Yeah.
In the book, and then it just also happened to have this wider reaching conflict in it, that, and so but then that even made it more personal because he kind of had to decide what was more important, his personal vendetta or going after, or like helping out the government because they need him and stuff. So I mean that even added to it. So but then mixing those two into one story in the movie made it feel more generic and, oh, we've seen this before.
Yep.
Also, especially casting Guy Pearce as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because that's all he plays. So it really was a case of
Friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
it's like, well, you're not telegraphing this at all. I mean, I think when like the first time he showed up on screen, my dad and I looked at each other. We went, "Well, that's the bad guy." Did these people really just throw the match?
I don't
They
think
did.
so. I saw what that
Sure
Cav was
seems
doing.
like
She was
that.
clearly trying to bait them.
Yeah, but we were winning. I mean, we had tied it up, and we were then.
No, we hadn't. You gotten one win. But anyway, I've got to get going. I don't know what's wrong with my internet. But I appreciate you having me on for this. It's been really fun. Thanks, internet.
I did experience a little lag this last round, so I don't know, maybe it was just something with this particular match.
Yeah, I'm also incredibly tired, so yeah. I'm
Yeah,
going to be a
that's
mature
true.
adult and
That's
take a
true.
nap. And then polish off an entire box of cookies. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I should probably be going as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same since I mean we've been going for a while, not just including the stream.
And it's like, is there really anything else for us to talk about that we haven't talked about ad nauseum with this game before?
Yeah. I mean the fact that it was more interesting talking without remorse is saying something. I suppose the only thing we haven't really brought up is, and it's kind of similar when we played Battlefield 4 the other week, in that it is kind of interesting how we're theming this around Modern Warfare, and as we're moving forwards in time, we're also simultaneously going backwards in time, since Battlefield did modern times before COD, and Rainbow Six certainly did that even earlier, back in 98, maybe, with the original game based on the book. And that in and of itself is like, okay, if we go really far, then really far back, then we essentially have Tom Clancy's novels serving as a blueprint for a lot of modern military shooters, especially Red Storm Rising, and to a somewhat lesser degree The Sum of All Fears, since those, like the plot points that those two novels go for, and actually for The Sum of All Fears, I think it might actually be more the movie, weirdly enough, at least going by the same kind of US Russia neo-Nazis angle, and that was essentially the plot for Ace Combat 5. So it's like, yeah, the released a few years after that movie, so that checks out that they probably saw the movie, were inspired, and were like, oh, let's do something like that, but also a little different, of course. And of course, Red Storm Rising as well, although it's been years since I read it, so I don't particularly remember any details. But if you read one of those two novels, you can essentially pick up on a lot of the plot points in the modern military shooters, whether it's Modern Warfare or Battlefield. Maybe not Rainbow Six these days, since we haven't had a campaign in years, and the story we're getting has nothing to do with counter-terrorism. Well, actually, there is some counter-terrorist stuff going on in some of the animated trailers they do, which is...
Well, and I feel like maybe what the direction they're moving into is that Night Haven is going to be a giant terrorist organization eventually.
Yeah.
Because they're a PMC that can be hired out by anyone.
Yeah, and especially since they have left Rainbow at this point, although it's not reflected in the gameplay, which makes things a little weird. And that is something I did see someone bring up on Twitter that I wholeheartedly agree with, that they should have saved this whole Rainbow versus Night Haven for a sequel, so that they could have, have one team be Rainbow and the other team be Night Haven, instead of this weird...
Because now they can't rework, like, defenders that stayed with Rainbow to be the attackers.
Yeah.
And then rework attackers that went over to Night Haven to be defenders. It's like they can't... Well, actually, I wouldn't put it past them, but it'd be difficult. And you'd basically have to make whole new characters with the same names. It'd just be dumb.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and also it would have maybe saved us the entire hassle of watching watching Siege getting constantly ruined by dumb decisions. And while things admittedly seem to be going in a better direction, since we have the new game director who actually was with old Siege in some way, and it definitely has a bit more sorta kind of tactical, realistic angle again. I mean, the operator we're watching in the background right now, like, actually looks like a proper soldier.
They're slowly moving back in that direction.
Yeah, like there are still some things that are questionable, of course, but I take it. If it, I would have preferred if we didn't have to go through that entire thing and just make a new game, and that you could have done weird things with, like, extraction, so I could have just ignored that.
Because everyone else has ignored extraction.
Yeah, exactly. Which, just quickly going back to the Tom Clancy book point, and to be fair, I'm not entirely sure there would have been much to discuss that either, since it's just, that's how it is, really. Short question before we go. I know you've read Without Remorse and Rainbow Six. Have you read any other Clancy novels so far? Because it's been a while.
I have Hunt for the Red October and Clear and Present Danger. However, I have not read them yet because since I started my job back in last October, almost a year ago now, I have not had like any time to really sit down and read with all my other projects going on. Because anytime I spend sitting and reading, it's like, oh, I could be doing this, I could be doing that, and almost see. But at the same time, I look over at my bookshelf, I see this stack of like 7 books I've got stacked on top of each other. This is my pile of shame that eventually I will get to because it is sitting there shaming me for not reading these, that they're not, neatly put into my bookshelf. But so I need to get to those. I want to get to those, but when that'll happen, I don't know. So
Yeah, actually kind of it.
and there's also several Star Wars books I have on the stack before them. So
same. I have a whole bunch of books in my bookshelf as well, and I'm also in a somewhat similar position where it's. I mean, like, I'm currently at the end of a fairly short book, and even that has taken a lot of time because the only time I really had to read have been like right before going to bed, but late, like the last few weeks or so, I've just been like so tired that I can't even be bothered to be reading, so I've been scrolling on my phone instead. It's sad. And for me, it's also kind of awkward since the last Clancy novel I read was Against All Enemies, which is it was one of those, we're trying to launch this new Tom Clancy character that at least my understanding was that it wasn't supposed to be tied to the Ryanverse, but apparently it is, based on a character that shows up in the ending, and apparently the events of that novel is referenced in some later novel. But that was also
sounds like they chickened out at the last minute.
Yeah, it definitely was a little, what is going on here, when this other Clancy character appears for like literally a second and then disappears as soon as he shows up, and it's really weird. And it was, that was also supposed to get a sequel, but it was cancelled, probably because it didn't do so well, and that makes sense since unfortunately the quality does go down after a certain point. But it's been so many years since I read that I'm almost contemplating, like, okay, I suppose I could just pick up where I left off, but it's been so long that I'm almost more tempted to just start over from the beginning. But then I'm also looking at, oh shoot, that's so many pages of to read through. But I suppose the upside is that maybe I would actually understand more things this time around, compared with me reading The Hunt for Red October as a 13-year-old and not having English as my primary language. I wouldn't have been able to go through that book if I hadn't watched the movie before, so I knew what was going on. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold you hostage longer. So yeah, that's
okay. That's good, because any longer Daxter would have busted in his fuse and probably clustered.
So yeah, that was Rainbow Six Siege as part of Road to Modern Warfare 2, and not as part of here's the new season, since I don't know, like I do hop on this game from time to time, but it's fairly long between those times, and it's not really high on my priority list on stream for streaming, so I didn't really go like, I don't know if I really care too much about which season it is at this point. And honestly, if it wasn't for Road to Modern Warfare 2, I'm not even sure when there would have been another Siege streams. Which sounds very pessimistic almost, but that's kind of where we are right now, unfortunately. So yeah, we will be back next week probably, and that's where things are gonna get very close to the end of the road, since the next game on this road is, well, Modern Warfare 2019. So that's gonna be
Yay!
fun. And then we will cap it off with Warzone, which less fun if we're doing Caldera, although I'm thinking that we're maybe let's focus more on Rebirth and maybe
I'm good with that.
Fortune's Keep, since especially since I don't remember when you said it, but I do agree with this, with Rebirth essentially being the last vestige of Modern Warfare left in Warzone, even though it's technically more Black Ops than Modern Warfare, but it's still kinda Modern Warfare because Warzone integrations were weird.
Part of the reason I say that is because it feels like it has more of those early Warzone days. Design choices thrown in there, rather than the way things ended up going with, like when they introduced Caldera or even when they did Verdansk 84.
Yeah.
Or 86, whatever. It's like even that was, different enough. It's like, it's fun. So Rebirth definitely still has some of, even in its different altered form that it is now, it still kind of has some of that nostalgic quality to it, because it was early out of the gate. Because let's see here, Warzone launched in like March, and then that was like a December update or something, I think. So I mean, it was only like 8 months or so from launch to Rebirth Island. So I mean, that's still pretty early on in Warzone's life cycle. So it still has some of those nostalgic memories attached to it, even though it's been changed and altered and stuff. And boy, is it better than Caldera.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, maybe we could do like 1 or 2 rounds of that. Just go, all right, that's where it is now. And now let's go do the fun stuff. So, but I really do like Fortune's Keep. That's a fun map.
Yeah, I'm still surprised by that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're making a new map. Why are they making a new map? They're like, how bad is it gonna be?
The last new map turned out so well. Yeah.
And then, oh, it's actually pretty good. I'm genuinely shocked. But yeah, that's the pipeline for this Road to Modern Warfare 2, and I also really need to get back to both Ace Combat 7 and Skyrim. Hopefully I will actually do it the rest of the weekend, unlike last weekend where it just didn't happen for reasons. But that's the plan anyway. So yeah, we were joined by Daxter, who left a little while ago, and also by Prentice1215.
Don't really have an outro for this.
He also has his own YouTube channel, and speaking of Road to Modern Warfare 2, he's doing kind of his own Road to Modern Warfare 2, where he's been playing through the Infinity Ward COD campaigns, starting from COD 4 and going through them and making videos, and where he talks about each campaign. The COD 4 one is up, and it's definitely recommended viewing. Also looking forward to not just the rest of the videos, but also in particularly the Ghosts one. I'm curious to see.
It's a doozy.
Yeah. So do check. My brain is also melting. So do check that out. I hope you enjoyed watching this stream, of course, and the previous part before game crashed. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter at LokaCola. A link is in the description down below, assuming I haven't been cancelled over there as well. Yeah, that's all for today, and we'll see you another day.